Today, our recent interview with eBay, where they broke some major news about changes to return policies and an awesome new shipping option next year. My name is Jeff Wilson. By day, I invest in tech companies, and at night, I invest in sports cards. Join me on my journey to profit from the hobby we all love. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode. What a fantastic week this has been. We had an incredible virtual holiday this week, more than 40,000 views of our virtual holiday over the course of the 3 days. Thank you to everybody out there who watched it and was part of it. And there was so much news that broke during the virtual holiday, and it all started the first day when eBay came on the show. Nicole Colombo from eBay, the general manager in charge of the trading card space, came on the show to talk about some really significant changes they're making to their return policy next year. And they're also introducing an awesome new shipping option, which you will definitely want to take advantage of. It's really good stuff. And we're going to go through that here in just a minute. Another piece of news that broke during the virtual was the fact that we here at Sports Card Investor have started our own PSA submission service, our own grading service, in conjunction with our friends at GotBaseballCards.com. You can now go to the SportsCardInvestor.com website. There is now a grading page on our website with an easy to complete form, and we will take care of all of your PSA grading needs for you. And we can give you perks that you cannot get by going through PSA directly. So you're definitely going to want to check that out by going to SportsCardInvestor.com and clicking on grading in the main menu bar. All right, everybody, I am excited to replay this interview from Tuesday to bring Nicole Colombo from eBay back on the show. If you missed any of this, you're going to want to watch all of this right now because it was a great interview with some really big news. Here we go. Welcome Nicole Colombo to Sports Card Investor. Nicole, welcome back to the virtual. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, and we really appreciate eBay's sponsorship. I know that all of our viewers are going to be so excited about the many great giveaways that you provided us with here for tonight and the next couple of nights, and a lot of the guests that are coming on are in partnership with you. You've been an awesome partner for this. And I also know that they're going to love to hear from you right now and talk a little bit about what eBay's doing and what eBay's plans are for the sports card hobby. And I'd love to start with this. You know, we're sitting here in December, and this has maybe been the most incredible year that the sports card hobby's ever seen. And that includes back in the 1980s when, you know, a boom was happening, you know, an incredible boom was happening back then as well. But it has been an amazing year. From eBay's perspective, you know, how do you reflect back on this year? What are some of the things that stand out to you?
I mean, you're right. This year has been amazing for trading cards and for the hobby, and it's been really fun to be a part of it. But I actually took a moment to look back over the past few years. And if you look over the past 5 years, there's been huge resurgence of interest in this industry. eBay's trading cards business has grown over 300% in the past 5 years, which is amazing. But then if you look at just this year alone, I mean, basketball has been the star. It's been unbelievable. I took a look at basketball sales from Q4 up till now, and they've grown 386%.
Wow.
And the second category, you know, I might surprise you, is actually soccer. It's up 310%. And it's a much smaller number, but the growth has been phenomenal. And then followed by baseball, which is still strong at 101%, and then football cards at 99%. So just really healthy all around. And you know, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention in the non-sports space, Pokemon, which has seen phenomenal growth this year, which should be of interest to the investor community that follows your shows. And then the other thing that sticks out to me is really the interest in modern cards and some of the current players that just really shot up. You know, for example, we sold 2 Luka cards for over $200,000 recently. We've seen collectors really, you know, poke interest in Zion Williamson. Sales have spiked 300%. Jean Moran's sales have spiked 780% this year. So it's been really fun to see people really take interest in not only the vintage cards, but the modern cards and the current players.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome. Awesome to see. It's been across the whole category. And you're right. Even things like Pokemon have been unbelievably hot. And in fact, I think one of the dealers who we're going to have on, a couple of the dealers over the next 3 nights, are actually going to feature some Pokemon as well and some non-sports cards. Even though most of what we're featuring are sports cards, we want to show some love and appreciation to every aspect of the trading card hobby. Now, with all of this attention coming into the trading card space, though, obviously eBay, you guys have been the giant in the space when it comes to an online marketplace. But how do you stay ahead? Because obviously, with more attention, that can mean more competition and more eyeballs on the space.
Yeah, no, it's been exciting to see so many new startups and businesses get into the space. I think it's great. The more interest and the more people that want to get into cards. I mean, it's only good for the community, and it's good to have healthy competition. eBay has been the leader in space for the past 25 years, and eBay's evolved, the space has evolved, and we're constantly looking to make changes that are particularly beneficial to the trading cards users. So actually today on the show, I do want to announce a few changes I'm really excited about that are going to go
Ooh, we
live.
got some breaking news here. We got some breaking news. Excellent.
So the first is that we'll be launching a new shipping tracking service called eBay Standard Envelope, which is just for trading card sellers in the initial launch. It will go live in January. And it's really meant to provide the service of tracking at the cost of basically the price of a stamp. So this is going to be hugely beneficial for sellers who sell low-priced cards. It is only available to cards that are valued under $20. And so providing tracking is entirely important, not only for the seller because they get protected, but also for the buyer. And often it's not affordable when you're selling a $5 card to pay USPS first class postage. So with our eBay Standard Envelope shipping service, the prices will range from, I believe, 51 cents to 91 cents, depending on the weight of the item. And you can print a label via eBay, which will provide full tracking. So that's amazing. And then in addition, sellers will get the top rated benefits that come along with providing tracking. So this is huge because not only does that mean you get to have the badge, you get to have the search benefits, but you also get the 10% final value discount. And so that's something, and protections as well. And so that's something some of the sellers of the lower price cards haven't had in the past. They've had to make that choice, whether paying an expensive amount for tracking or just shipping with a stamp and seeing how it goes. But now they will get those additional benefits. So we're super excited about this program. It'll be launching in a beta format in January. That means we want your feedback. We're willing to change it if there's things that we can tweak, but we've worked with a few sellers so far building this out. We've gotten wonderful feedback and we're really, really excited about it. So stay tuned in the Seller Center and the Seller Hub to get more details about this. There are very specific weight and dimension requirements, but it will work for raw cards. It won't work for graded cards. You make sure you're meeting those requirements, but it should be a huge value added service to sellers.
Yeah, that is really, really big news. And I want everyone out there to understand how big of a news this is because, one of the challenges with selling raw cards on eBay that are low dollar cards are the shipping fees. And if you're trying to sell cards that are $1 or $2, historically eBay hasn't always been the best way to buy those because the shipping fees get in the way. I a number of times I've gone on eBay and have searched for some players I'm trying to collect in my personal collection, and I found a card I want that's listed for 99 cents or $1.99, but then it's a $3.99 or $4.99 shipping, and then it's kind of like that kind of hurts. So this is revolutionary because what you're saying is for all of those cards under $20 that the seller is going to be able to ship those for, it sounds like, less than $1 and still get the tracking, still get all the benefits, not having to do the plain white envelope with no tracking, which is how some of them have attempted to do it up until now. Yeah, this is really big news, Nicole. I'm excited for this. So again, how do sellers get part of this? You said look in the seller center for info.
It will be open. We're launching it. Okay, the date is not confirmed. It's going to be at the end of the month of January. So stay tuned in the Seller Center to find the date. But once it's live, it will be open to everyone in the trading card space. You have to be listing in trading cards, and that includes sports cards, collectible cards, non-sports cards. And then you have to your item has to sell for under $20 and then has to meet the weight and dimension requirements. And so open to everyone.
All right.
Yeah.
That's going to be great. I will be taking advantage of that. I will be listing some raw cards on eBay for sure. Wonderful. All right. Well, that's great news.
There's one, I don't mean to interrupt you, but there is one other thing I'm excited about that I do want to announce as well.
Let's do it.
So, one of the benefits of eBay is that you can buy anything on eBay, right? You can buy, ASIC sneakers, you can buy bugs for your garden, you can buy, a car, and you can also buy trading cards. Sometimes things that we have that benefit the greater good of eBay are not specific enough for the trading cards community. So I've spent a lot of time digging into this particular community and what works for this market. And one thing that I want to change is our return policy. So I want to clarify one thing. The current eBay return policy, you can choose as a seller how you want to, what returns you want to offer. But in order to get top rated benefits as a seller for most eBay categories, you have to choose 30 days. However, in sports cards, and not everyone knows this is why I want to call it out. In sports cards, you only have to choose 14 days. So sports card sellers can choose 14 days and still get the top rated benefits. So that has been live for the past year or so. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that. But I don't even think that's enough because in the space, as you know, things fluctuate so much. And 14 days is a pretty long return window. So early next year, we will also be changing the remorse return window for top rated requirements. Basically, as a seller, you can choose whatever window you want, 30 days, 14 days, 0 days, and you can still qualify for top rated benefits. So that is also a pretty meaningful change that we'll be putting in place early next year. I do want to call out that buyers will still be protected. We want to make sure that we're also protecting buyers in case someone really receives something that is incorrect. And then I'm also looking to change our eBay money back guarantee process as it relates to cards, but I don't have any announcements there right now. But the remorse window return change for TRP top, which stands for top rated plus, is a pretty significant change.
Yeah, that is a really, really big change. And that is directly addressing a concern that I've heard from the hobby community this year about, unfortunately, there's some, bad actors out there that have taken advantage of eBay's very friendly buyer policies and unfortunately have sometimes, returned items because they decreased in value, not for legitimate reasons. But what's awesome, Nicole, is that it really sounds like that you and your team are listening to the community and are trying to make proactive changes to make eBay better for everybody within the trading card space.
Absolutely. I mean, it's there's so much that great feedback that we get from our buyers and our sellers, and there's a lot that we want to do. And so these are just some of the changes we're putting into place, and we really appreciate all the feedback we've been getting from the community.
Good. Well, I appreciate you breaking the news here on the virtual holiday on Sports Card Investor. This is great stuff for the community to know. And we will make sure to pass the word around. I know another change that you made recently, within the recent months, was moving to managed payments for sellers. Tell us a little more about kind of the thought process there and how that evolved.
Yeah, if I take off my trading cards cap and think more about total eBay, managed payments is the biggest change we're making right now. That should benefit both buyers and sellers as a company. So the idea is that eBay will be processing your payments. It won't be PayPal anymore. And so going forward, PayPal will still be an option, but now as a buyer, you'll have all these other options that people are used to. You'll have PayPal, you'll have Apple Pay, you'll have Google Pay, credit card, debit, all of that. And instead of paying, as a seller, instead of paying eBay fees and then paying PayPal fees, you'll just have one set of fees that's coming from eBay, as eBay will be processing the payments for you. And so net, we think this will be financially beneficial for most sellers. So we're really excited about it. It's been in the works for a while. Some sellers might already be on managed payments, and some sellers might be rolled into it over the next year.
Yeah, cool, awesome. Well, it's going to be exciting to see where that goes as well. I've been buying and selling a lot on eBay this past year, and I have sometimes bought through services. In fact, I've often bought through services like PWCC and Probstein 123, these big consignors who sell on eBay that sell the cards from many people who ship to them. I'm curious, what are the advantages or disadvantages when I go to sell cards of using one of those consignors versus selling directly on eBay myself?
Yeah, that's a great question. As we love having the options for sellers. If you go to one of these consignors, it's really a great service that they're providing for you. They will do everything for you, soup to nuts. You're sending them your cards. They are taking care of creating the eBay listing. They're managing the process. They're deciding whether it should be sold via auction or best offer. They're managing the customer service. They're taking care of the shipment. They're doing everything for you. And often also, particularly the two that you mentioned, Probstein and 123 and PWCC, they have a huge following of buyers, and they're, well known in the eBay community. So you'll often maximize your value if you go with one of them. Now, as a seller, you have to decide whether or not you want to consign the card with them and pay whatever fees they're charging, or just go directly on eBay and pay the fees eBay is charging. And there could be a trade-off there. But of course, you have to list it yourself. But there are people who just want to do it themselves. And, we make it as easy as we can for you to create your own listing and sell it directly. But there's a benefit to going with a consignor who might help you maximize your value, particularly on an auction.
Now, for somebody who does want to sell directly, let's say maybe somebody who they're not a top-rated seller yet, they're maybe just starting to get into it. What are some tips you might have for them in terms of how they can maximize their value when selling directly through eBay?
I mean, some basic tips are, ensuring that your title has keywords that people are looking for that are related to your card. Make sure that you take a ton of images, particularly in the card space. People want to see that exact card. Don't ever use a stock photo. Use the photo of the card that you have on hand. Show the corners, show the front, show the back, show all the details. Have a very detailed description. Like, the more information you can provide up front, the better. And then be open to communication. Often buyers will use eBay's end-to-end message center to ask questions about the card. So share as much detail as you can over the eBay communication format about the card itself. And then provide details about how you ship, the shipping details, and then provide tracking, which buyers value as well. And now you can, sellers who maybe couldn't afford to do that will be able to in the future with eBay standard envelope. I will also call out that we have a seller school that was put together by our seller team. So if you go to sellerschool.ebay.com, you can get access to free online courses. And my team in Trading Cards helped work on one of those courses. So
very neat. Good to know. Good to know. I appreciate that. And I completely agree with you. Photos are everything when it comes to trading cards, especially if you're selling raw cards. But it's true with any type of trading card. And you can tell a noticeable difference between the people who take the time to get really good photos on eBay and what those cards sell for, versus those where the photos aren't as complete. So I think that's really good advice for the audience. Now flipping the script a little bit from the buyer perspective, as someone who is investing in sports cards or any type of trading card, they're looking to eBay to as a marketplace by which they can, acquire the cards that they want to invest in. What are some tips you might have for them to ensure that they can find the best deals on eBay?
Some tips are to follow sellers. So if you're following a seller that you've purchased from before or that has inventory that you find interesting, you'll get alerts when they are bringing new inventory on or when they make price changes. Also save your searches. If you have sometimes you can be very detailed in your search and really narrow it down to exactly what you want. So you can save that, revisit that same search. Also, utilize our different formats for making purchases to really negotiate the best value. That's another benefit of eBay. You can buy buy it now. Something's listed at an awesome price. Just click on it and buy it. You can utilize best offer to negotiate with the seller. Or you can take it part in an auction listing and perhaps win that card at a great value. So you've got the three different formats and choose which one is best for you depending on how much you're willing to spend and the card you're looking for.
Awesome tips. I appreciate it. Good. Well, Nicole, this has been very insightful. I know you've already broken some significant news on this show, which we appreciate. But before we get you out of here, anything else you want to add?
Well, I'll just say, please stay tuned. These are a few changes we're making in the beginning of the year, but there's more to come. So please follow us on social if you're not already. Go to the Seller Center if you're a seller and look for updates. And stay tuned. And always, please share feedback. We really value feedback. So you can always go to, let me find what the email is. We look for feedback. It is sellerhelpfeedback@ebay.com. And share feedback, good or bad. We read all the forums, so we see it all. And earnestly, we want to make changes that will support the community. So please continue to share feedback.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. And I can personally attest to the fact that Nicole, as well as her team, people like Bob and Chris, have done a wonderful job of really trying to understand and listen to the hobby and start to plan some of these changes out to really make the trading card category as strong as ever on eBay in years to come. So we are grateful, Nicole, for you joining the show tonight and sharing all that information with us. Thank you so much for being part of the virtual.
Thank you for having me, Jeff. It was great to be here, and happy holidays to you and to everyone in the trading card space.
Happy holidays to you as well. Thanks, Nicole. Take care. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that interview with eBay. I thought that was fabulous. I am super excited about some of these changes that eBay is making, and they are really listening to us in the hobby, which I think is great news. And I am thankful for our partnership with eBay. They have been absolutely amazing partners, and I'm really happy to see some of these changes taking place. I think it's going to be for the betterment of everyone in the hobby, which is awesome stuff. Excited about that. I'm also excited about the PSA grading service we launched. If you haven't yet, go check it out by going to sportscardinvestor.com and click grading in the main menu bar. It is the best way to get your cards graded by PSA. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. We will see you back in a couple of days with our next episode. Take care.